Hope you're all doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Give me 1 second to get over to YouTube. Yeah, it's a little different. A little different. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's gonna take some getting used to for sure. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shelby.
Hi, guys.
Yes, it's Tuesday. Welcome in. Yes, Tuesday. Thank you so much. All right, let me get over to our live. And I am going to switch us over to subscribers only. So that means that if you are over on Facebook or YouTube, you are you're going to be able to see our comments. If you're over on YouTube, you need to be on Niknax.net in order to comment, unless you've been over there for, like, if you're an OG. I'm setting it to 2 years. 2 years. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was kind of like missing a little. I used to have like a little bit more edge, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I work for myself. I don't really have to worry about going to a job, and so, like, I mean, well, this is my job, but I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, cover up your tattoos. You gotta, so. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I have had, thank you. I have had comments before that are like, you're never going to get a real job because of those tattoos. Okay, thanks. Thanks for thinking of me. All right, so let me get over to Facebook and I'll pull up our notes. Yeah, so if you guys did not see my video yesterday, I did share a GoFundMe link for George, the antique nomad. And if you don't know what's going on with him, you can definitely go over and check out his video that he posted a few days ago. Is my mom in here? She's hey Mom, what do you think? Seeing it for the first time. All right, let me get over to all right. Notes. We got our notes. Okay. I don't even remember what we said we were going to put on the notes. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see. What is this? Oh, what are you sending me? Squirrel. Okay. All right. Let's go over new members. We have 42,894 members currently. That's 344 new members since last week. That seems to be about our average on a weekly basis. Sometimes when we have like a big event, we see like a jump in those numbers, which is always exciting. But we seem to be just chugging along, and that's really exciting. So welcome to all of our new members. Thank you for being here. Make sure you go and check out the chat channels. If you want to figure out what's going on here, you can go and check out our chat channels, introduce yourself, get to know the community. That's one of the things that that is so important to me in growing Niknax, is that sense of community, which a lot of other places don't have. So go over and introduce yourself, get to know some of our community members. And you could do that with the chat channels on the side of your screen, either on the desktop or if you have a mobile device. All right. We added 8 new sellers, and those sellers were ones that had messaged the help desk. That were like, "Hey, here." So I am going through help desk messages. I do have to go through the Team Niknax inbox. So I'm kind of getting caught up on people who have sent pictures of their items. So these are sellers that don't necessarily have an online presence elsewhere, but they're sending in photos. They're sending in here's the stuff I want to sell on Niknax, because we do take that extra step to vet our sellers who may not have a presence elsewhere, but like we still want to know, hey, what is it you like to sell? We want to get to know them a little bit better before we're just like, hey, come on in and sell. So I say that a lot. If you're applying to sell on Niknax, it's important that if you sell anywhere else, you include those links because the process moves a little faster. But if you don't have links elsewhere, if you're not selling anywhere else, it doesn't mean you're not going to get approved. It just means that the process takes a little bit longer. You might get a rejection and we might request additional information. You might get an approval if you put a lot of thought into your application. I have some people who write like a whole book, and I'm like, you know what? Somebody puts that much effort into writing me an application. I feel like they're going to put that much effort into their reselling and their selling here on Niknax. So there's a lot of consideration that goes into it. But like I said, just because you don't have an online presence elsewhere does not mean that you're not going to get approved for Niknax. So there is that extra step. So those new 8 sellers are sellers that may not have a presence elsewhere, may have got lost in the shuffle also, may have forgotten to put their links in and then followed up with an application with their links. But welcome to all of our new sellers. If you would like to go live, no, the eighth sale, real quick. The 8th sale is a different sale. I'm doing a sale on the 8th, which is going to have good items, and then my sale on the 10th is like the best of the best. But welcome to all of our new sellers. If you would like to apply to go live, we changed it last week. What did we call it? We kind of brainstormed together as a team and we came up with a new name, and I don't remember. Over on the side panel, I was talking about the chat channels earlier. Live sales onboarding. You want to go to Niknax information and live sale onboarding. You click on that, you schedule onboarding, and then you just go through a short, these are the buttons you press, and this is what you need to do, and these are the guidelines for the marketplace, and then you're approved to go live. And then you can go live anytime, day, morning, night, weekends, anytime you want. We don't really have any rules like you can only go live during this time unless you pay us this amount. I know some marketplaces do that. We don't have any rules about that. We don't have any subscriptions. We've talked about it in the past. We've got some feedback about it, and then we decided not to do it. So we're still kind of like trying to decide what we're going to do, because subscriptions are cool, but every time I'm like, oh yeah, we could do that. And then it's just like, I don't know. So we don't have any subscriptions. So you can go live anytime you want. That's basically what I'm saying. I always like to encourage people to go live later in the evening because it always draws in a different crowd, not in a bad way, but different people. And we do see kind of an influx in activity in the evenings, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight. It's kind of wild. But it's kind of cool at the same time because we don't, it's kind of later. You wouldn't expect it, but some prime time right there. All right, so let me get back to notes before I get too far off topic. We have 105,000 listings. So that a lot of the bulk of that is buy it now listings. So if you're looking for something in particular, I would encourage you to go and search the buy it now listings. I buy a lot of my things from the buy it now listings. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. So make sure you go search around the buy it now listings. You might find some cool stuff. I noticed today that we have golf clubs. I was like, sweet, because I do know that there's a golf marketplace. So I was really excited to say, hey, we got some golf clubs too. It's maybe 5 of them, but you know what? I'll take it. That's pretty neat. So we have a variety of things. It's not all just vases and pots. So definitely do some browsing of the marketplace if you have a chance. 105,000 listings is a lot. How do you do that? By seller or by item? So if you go to listings, let me see if I can pull it up. And okay, hang on, stand by. I have way too much stuff in my photo box right now. It's ridiculous. What all do I have in there? Okay. Random things in my photo box. Okay. I don't want to knock anything over. Oops, careful. Okay. Alrighty, all right. Let me for the purple lady. You know, like how many people have like a random purple lady in their photo box? Not many, but I do. Okay, so real quick, what was the question? Oh, if you're looking for like a particular item or a particular seller, you go to all listings here on the side, and you'll notice this looks a little bit different. If you know, if you happen to be in other marketplaces, ours looks a little different because if you look up here, we do have Niknax.net. We are on our own domain. If you are on District directly, you will have other marketplaces. You'll be all plugged into District, but we are on Niknax.net, so we don't have that extra sidebar. But over here, you hit listings. You can. I don't think there's very many collections here. I have to go through and pick the collections I want for that drop down. As far as sellers go, you can click here. You can say, I want to look at listings by Crazy Lamp Lady. And so here's all the crazy people that we have. See, there's my mom. She's right in there with me. Now you know where I get it from. So there is all how you search by seller. And then you can also do the search bar. You can put in what you're looking for here. And then you could search by buy it now, auction. You can even search by shipping, US, ships to me. So you have all of these options of filtering. Okay. So that is how you do the search. So if you want to search those 100 and no, I'm gonna have a hard time fixing this. This thing is, I feel like I have it upside down. That's probably why I'm having trouble. But you know what? It doesn't matter at this point. Well, my tripod is currently upside down, but it doesn't matter. I think it'll be fine. As long as you guys are upright, it doesn't matter that the tripod is upside down. Okay, so let me get back to my notes. All right, let's see. So, first up, it's May. Yay! It's Teacher Appreciation and National. Oh, it's Teacher Appreciation Day, or is it month? Because I thought there was like a whole month for teacher appreciation. Oh, it's day. Oh, I didn't know that it was a day. Oh, week. Okay, week. I'm like, I thought it was a whole month. Yes, nurses. That was next on. Like it's teachers and nurses. I just had to clarify the whole teacher thing because I thought it was a month. So it's Teacher and Nurses Day, Appreciation Day, which is awesome. So make sure if you're browsing around today, you know, we have some sellers who are in fact nurses. We also have some sellers who are teachers or former teachers. So please make sure if you see them around the marketplace, if you, I mean, like raise your hand in the chat if that's you. Make sure you say thank you and show some appreciation there for the work that they do. Present, there you go. We also have members as well, not just sellers, but a lot of members. So go ahead and raise your hand there in the chat. Let us know where you are so we can say thank you. We're taking roll. We're writing it down. Christina, make sure you're writing it down. All right. So May to June is graduation season. So start thinking of all the wonderful gifts you can find on Niknax. Truth. We have over 105,000 listings. You're bound to find something. You can find decor for like a new apartment. If you know somebody who's graduating, like, oh, here's for your new apartment, right? Jewelry gifts for a graduate, ephemera. You can build care packages with all the snacks that we have on Niknax. That's a great idea. We do have some really awesome snacks. The snacks category, I keep on getting messages from people who would like to start selling snacks. So that's really exciting. So the snacks are growing. So make sure you're browsing the snacks. You know, yesterday we have a Trader Joe's here, but I don't go to it because it's always really busy. The parking lot is always full and it gives me anxiety because I'm like, I'm not going someplace where I can't find a parking spot. It's not happening. I'm going to drive right by it. And so I'm like, I wonder if I can Instacart Trader Joe's. Like that would just make my day if I could be like, okay, these are the things I want, but I can't find them on Instacart. So I looked it up and apparently they don't do that. Like they don't have delivery or Instacart or any of those things because they want to give people the experience of shopping in their store. And I'm like, oh, that's like if I was to give Trader Joe's a stereotype, that would be it. You have to go in and you have to walk around. They're not going to bring you your groceries. So anyway, I would rather order them on Niknax than go and try to find a parking spot is basically what I'm saying to you. So you can find Trader Joe's snacks on Niknax. You don't have to go try to find a parking spot. So do your browsing, do your Trader Joe's shopping right here. Check it out. All right, let's see. We have, it's a weird message. Updates. Updates. We don't have anything new to report this week. But we have the stuff that we reported last week. So if you miss, Buc-ee's too. Oh yeah, we have more than just Trader Joe's. That was just my example, but there's so much more than just Trader Joe's in the snacks. We have international snacks. We have Buc-ee's. We have lots of different things. So make sure that you're checking out the snacks because there's more than just Trader Joe's. That was just the examples that I used. All right, let's see. Last week we announced UPS shipping labels are available. I don't remember announcing that, but I think maybe I just don't remember it. UPS shipping labels are available, everybody. We announced it in the chat. Did we? Okay. We did update the snacks on our guidelines. That reminds me, I think I did update our guide. No, I did not. Did I update? I made a few tweaks to our guidelines, but nothing that we really need to go over. I might work. Where's my notebook? That's not my notebook. I got one. Okay. Let's just do, I gotta write one more thing down so that I remember to go over it because I did make a small tweak that, it's not worth pulling up the guidelines, but just mentioning it. Listings on Shopify can be posted to Niknax, but you have to email support@district.net for assistance. Oh, yes. Claudine has a very good point. A very good point. Do not use UPS to ship to Canada. Very important to our sellers. Do not use UPS to ship to Canada because if you do, your buyer will receive a bill when the item arrives. So you might be like, oh, that's the cheapest shipping. It's not really because once the item arrives to your buyer in Canada, they get handed a bill in addition to the item. So in most cases, they're going to refuse that item because they don't want to pay $40, $50 in fees in addition to accepting the item, and it's going to make its way back to you. So even though it may seem like the shipping is less, it's not actually less. So please be sure to use USPS. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I think that happened with us. I think that happened with us too, actually, to Claudine. That's how we learned. So Claudine taught me that lesson, actually. So thank you, Claudine. I mean, I learned the hard way, but I appreciate it. All right. We also have private toggle in lives. This is for test lives at the moment. I can see ways to use this in the future for other purposes. But right now, really the only way to really utilize this because of the functionality is to test. So if you want to learn how to press the buttons and move stuff to stage, you can use the private toggle to go live. So we do have that. All right. So we have in case this is news to anybody, we have a zero tolerance policy on bullying and harassment. This past week, is actually the week where I have suspended and banned more people than I have ever suspended and banned in the history of Niknax for bullying and harassment. And what's wild is these were people who were members of the community who had a place here. And it's hard for me to I get it when we have trolls come in and it's like, oh my gosh, here's somebody who's been a member for 2 days, and they come in and they're like causing trouble and it's like, see you later. But be kind. Be kind. If you have an issue with another seller, with another buyer, with another member, do not send them a message telling them so. If you have an issue with another member, your best action is to block them. And then you never have to see them again. Okay? Trust me, I know. Yesterday morning, I got called the W word in a message. So it was like first thing in the morning, and I'm like, hey, listen, you can't promote your eBay in somebody's live sale. And they're like, you. And then I was like, whoa. And then they're like, you crazy. And I'm like, you didn't have to take it there. I mean, just the regular one was enough. Happy Monday. So that was how I started my day yesterday. But if you have a problem with somebody, you don't have to message them. You can just block. But I blocked that person, and now they're invisible to me. I can't see them. I can't. This was not a member of Niknax. They were like one of those new people that just popped in to promote themselves. So this wasn't a long-standing member. But that's just an example I'm using because I blocked them. I sent all the messages to Sienna, and she's like, "You can block them now." And I was like, "Okay, block." But then I can't get messages from them. I can't see them. They're banned from the marketplace, so they can't come into any of your sales on Niknax and promote themselves. They can message you. So they can message you, and if you're a member anywhere else, they can go into those sales and they can promote themselves. But here on Niknax, they're banned from our marketplace, and they can't come into your sales and promote themselves anymore. But block. That's the most important thing. If you have an issue with somebody, you don't need to tell them that you have an issue with them. You don't need to tell them off. You don't need to do anything, because then you kind of look like the jerk by messaging them and being like, hey, listen, blah, blah, blah. And then you look like the jerk for telling them off. Just block them, just move on. There's no reason to, because I get the screenshots and it's like, ooh, why did they say that? And I'm going to pull up the guidelines real quick. Bottom line is, if I see messages harassing another member, whether that's based on, there's a long list. So I'm going to read it because the harassment could stem from any number of things. And that includes, it could discrimination on the grounds of race, ethnicity, color, religion, disability, national origin, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, or political orientation. If you do not agree with somebody based on any of those things, based on any statements made, block them. That's it. Also, I noted this last week. You have the ability as a seller to kick somebody from your sale. You can kick somebody from your sale. I don't know if you guys knew this. A lot of people didn't know this last week, but you can click on somebody's name and you can kick them from your sale. You can boot them from your sale. If you boot anybody from your sale for bullying, harassment, causing a scene, interrupting your sale, please take a screenshot and send it to me, because if it's disruptive, if it's, they're just in there trying to cause trouble, I'm going to boot them from the entire marketplace. Like, we had somebody come into a marketplace asking if anyone had used underwear for sale. They didn't last 5 minutes. They got booted from Niknax, stuff like that. So yes, boot them from your sale, but please get a screenshot of that so that I have proof to say, well, they're gone. And normally there's a protocol, but if that's their first interaction on our marketplace, that's their last interaction on our marketplace, because we don't tolerate that here. Okay. And don't send us a DM because it will get lost. I'm at the point now where I get so many DMs because people are coming over from YouTube, they're coming over from Facebook. They're like, hey, do you still have this item? Do you still have that? Hey, can I buy this? Can I buy that? Which, I understand, but I'm not getting a lot of the important messages about, like, oh my gosh, this person sent me a harassing email, or, stuff that's pertinent and time sensitive is getting lost. So you need to send it to community@niknax.net if you are having issues. And yes, as we grow, this is going to continue to become an issue. Christina and I have been discussing adding additional moderators to the team to help moderate trolls and in the live sales. And hopefully in the coming weeks, maybe months, sellers themselves will have the ability to elect moderators in their sales. That would be an awesome feature, but we're not going to be able to keep them out. We're not going to be able to keep them out. So just keep that in mind. So if you experience any type of bullying or harassment, please let us know. Not only is it against our guidelines, but it is against district guidelines. So yes, we may boot them from the marketplace. We might take action against them. We might mute them. I can take away their chatting abilities, so they can't chat in the chat channels. They can't chat in the sales. They can watch. They can buy stuff, but that's all they can do. So I can do that as well. But in addition to all of that, if it's bad enough, if they're around there calling somebody over, then district might step in and say, all right, you're off district. So it's against district guidelines as well. So if you experience any of this, you can send us an email, community@niknax.net. And you can even, if you wish, you can CC support@district.net, or we can forward it for you. We can forward it as well. But yes, please make sure you're getting screenshots. Screenshots are so important. Hey! So make sure that you are getting screenshots, okay? Let's talk about our category of under $20 or less. Under $20 or less. So yesterday I went through and I started removing items in the under $20 or less category that were not under $20 or less. I did about 30 of them. It took me about 30 minutes. And then there were 750 more to go. And I was like, this is going to take a long time. So I'm going to ask you to please do not be tagging your items for the $20 or less category unless they fall under that category. There's a couple things at play here, though. I'm going to explain. First of all, I did change the category to $20 and under. So now if it's $20, because this was confusing to a lot of people. A lot of people were putting their $20 items in that category, and it was what did I under $20. So technically it should have been like $19.99. But I switched it. So now it's 20 and under. So we are allowing $20 in that category. So it's very specific, but there were a couple things at play. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but mass tagging is currently glitchy. So if you are trying to tag multiple items at the same time, you're probably seeing a glitch. So if you were to grab and don't test this with a lot of items, because I've done it and then I've had to retag all of them. But if you grab 2 items and then you try to tag them with something, it will do one of 2 things. It will either delete all the tags off the items and give them the new tag, or it'll take all the tags from one item and apply them, it should apply the tags to both items to both items. So if you have like one tagged as vase, ceramic, and the next one is glass planter, suddenly they're both vase, planter, glass, ceramic. They're all the same. So that is one of the issues we're seeing with mass tagging. So I would hold off on tagging anything in groups, because I think that's why our $20 or less category is getting so mixed up. I don't think it's purposeful. I think a lot of it is by accident, because maybe somebody had one of their items selected that was $20 or under, and they had like 5 items selected, and they tried to add a tag, and then suddenly all of those items were $20 or less. So I think that is contributing to the issue. But we are going to try to keep a closer eye on that. We're going to try to, make sure that things are staying to $20 or less. But we could definitely use your help in being more mindful of when you're using those tags. All right, let's see. Gosh, I feel like there was more to talk about, but that's all I got. What else can I go on about? Wholesale items. I did add to our wholesale guidelines. It was just a really simple thing. You know how in snacks I added last week that you have to include per snack listing, you just have to include that on this. If you're a buy it now seller, you have to include, buy it now and live. As you're listing snacks, you have to include in the listing that you're approved. I did the same thing for wholesale. So if you're listing wholesale as buy it now, you just have to include it on the wholesale listing. So I added that this week. So now it applies to snacks and it applies to wholesale. So if you have a wholesale item that you are listing, buy it now, you have to include that you are approved, which is easy. And just the description, I'm just requiring the description. One of the things that I am doing to make sure that we're keeping it like where it needs to be is if it's showing up on the homepage, like under the collection will filter out certain sellers or filter in certain sellers. So you see the snacks category, when somebody asks me permission, I add them to the approved list on the collection. So then if they tag their listings as snacks, it will show in that collection. If they're not approved and they're tagging it as snacks, it doesn't matter. They're not going to show up there. So they have to be approved in order to show up in the category. They can list them, but they're not going to show up in the category. So you have to get approval for snacks in order to show up in that collection. Same goes for, what was it? Wholesale? I think, cosmetics. Same goes for cosmetics. And I think I did add that to cosmetics as well. And if I didn't, I need to. I did not, but I'm going to add that to cosmetics as well. That you need to also add that you are an approved cosmetic seller in your cosmetic listings. So we'll just put that in there. Okay. All right. So yes, you can do multi-quantity items. Yes, you can do that. Just make sure you describe the condition, and if you're listing multi-quantity vintage listings, you list items of similar condition. That's what we do. Like if I get a stack of plates and like one of the plates is chipped, we take that out of the pile because we don't keep it in that quantity listing because it's not of similar condition. We'll be like, okay, 5 plates instead of 6. And then we'll have that separate plate that's chipped. Either we'll list it or we'll donate it. But we just make sure that if we're doing quantity of vintage things that are not new, that we are making sure they are of similar condition. All right, that was the only update I had on guidelines. Let me see here. All right. I think that was it for updates. Okay, kudos. Kudos for switching it up and thinking outside the box. I did notice that a lot this week, people trying new things, and I was here for it. I saw a lot of you like testing out new formats and trying new things, and I just love seeing it. And we talked about this a little bit last week. about how, if you're noticing like a lull, if you're noticing that things are getting a little stagnant, it helps. It really does help to like try something new. It doesn't mean you're always going to succeed. I mean, it could flop, but then for next time, like, okay, this did not work. I need to tweak it. I need to change it. I need to just say, I'm never doing that again, and try something new. But it's really important that, when things, hi there, when things, start to get a little bit slow, and we have heard from sellers who might be a little discouraged because, things aren't working that well. They're going slow, like just, trying something new. And I get a lot of questions from buy it now sellers as well. Like, how can I get more buy it now sales? First of all, hey guys, check out the store. I just saw that come through. Debbie, thank you so much for the purchase of the cat. I have some really cool items in the store right now. Do I have any I can add some coffee. Yes, I can. I mean, isn't that the point of coffee chats, to have coffee? I feel like it is. As far as buy it now sellers, I mean, it's the same thing as anywhere else. It has a lot to do with consistency. You have to be consistent in listing. So, list every day, list every other day, list 2 items, list 1 item, list 5 items. Just make sure that you're constantly putting stuff out there. That is so helpful, especially, now that we're getting picked up. This should be in there now, I think. Especially now that we're getting picked up in the Google algorithm, because I feel like the freshness of the listings will pick it up in Google, versus the older listings. I don't know how that all works, honestly, but I feel like if it's a fresh listing, Google might be more apt to grab it and put it in their algorithm versus something that's been sitting for a while. I don't know how that works, but like in my head, that makes sense. Like, okay. One thing that I do is I go to my oldest listings and I duplicate them, and then I delete the old one. So I'll go through and I'll duplicate a really, really old listing. I'll duplicate it. One thing I will do is I'll re-research it. I will re-research it because things change. When I first started listing on Niknax, that was December 2023. It's been like a year and a half, and prices fluctuate. Obviously, there for a while, back in 2023, swung glasses were kind of at a peak. They've come down a little bit. I think they're never going to go back down to what they were. Trust me. I know I was picking up for like $50, like this big. They're never going to go down to what they were. But I think the prices have kind of come down a little bit. So, going back to my oldest listings, if I was to have a swung glass vase listed for $1,000, I'd be like, what's it worth now? And I would duplicate it. I would do a little bit more research on it for the current market. What is it worth now? And then I'd maybe reprice it, based on what it's worth now in the duplicate listing. And then make sure you delete the original, because otherwise you'll have 2 out there. And what if they both sell? What if you forget to delete the second? So make sure the first thing you do is you delete the original. Because I've done that before where I'm like, oh crap. Thank you for the coffee purchase. I appreciate you guys. So that's one piece of advice I have for buy it now sellers. That's one thing I did. I went through my entire store, and I started from my oldest items, and I started going through and I started researching them and looking them up and seeing, okay, what should I do with this item? Like, how much is it worth now versus how much was it a year or 2? And even before that, I had them listed over on eBay, for a year, maybe. So I'm like, okay, it's time to get rid of this thing. What do I need to price it at? So that's one of the things I did. And that's something to consider, and the longer things sit there, the longer they're taking up money that you could be spending on stuff that is popular now. That's something to consider as well. That's why I'm getting rid of a lot of my glass, because I'm like, you know what? I can invest that in something new. That's why I'm having my sale on the 10th, because I'm ready to go buy some new cool stuff. I want to go buy some new cool stuff. So keep that in mind. We need to move it so we can buy more. Absolutely. That's important. All right, I think that covers that. So I think that's fantastic that everybody's a lot of you are switching it up, trying new things. That's good. That's good. It makes me happy. All right. Oh, yep. Multi-day auctions. Multi-day auctions are fantastic. Pamela, still the queen of multi-day auctions. Let's see here if we have multi-day auctions today. For those of you who don't know, Niknax does have live sales, buy it now listings, and multi-day auctions, which I feel like when I said that last week, a lot of people were like, wait, what? Multi-day auction? Yes, we have multi-day auctions. So, I mean, I've been on multi-day auctions before. I've just, like put a bid on something, and then I just go about and then it's like a few days later, it's like, you've won, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, so it's kind of like just, bid, and then you just kind of forget it. And then it's like Christmas when you win it and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I won that. But there's some really fantastic, I'm looking through it right now. Let's see if I can get you guys out of there. I can't really turn you around because your guys are backwards on it, Here are some of the items in our multi-day auctions. This is really pretty. That is, there's what is that? Starry Night? Isn't that Starry Night, Murano? Right there, $15 start. So there's some really fun stuff in here. That's neat. I like the little butterfly. Paperweights. So there you go. So, and there's multiple pages. Once you get towards the end, it starts switching over to scheduled. And when you see the scheduled, that means it's upcoming in somebody's live sale. So there's no reason why you can't bid on those as well. This just means it's going to be sold live. So I put in this, basically you're doing an absentee bid, a pre-bid. So some of these listings are, pre-bids, and you can throw a pre-bid at it. And then when the live sale happens, you may or may not win, but it's the same as an absentee bid when you see scheduled. All right. So you will see starting soon in some of those. All right. Hey, can you guys hear me now? My phone was doing like this weird like rainbow thing. It was like, I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, what is it doing right now? I've never seen this before. That was wild. All right. Let's see. What was that comment? MaxiCat, send a message to community@niknax.net. Community@niknax.net. Yes. Thank you, Christina. And hopefully you've reached out to the seller. Yeah. For step one is reach out to the seller. Always, if there is ever an issue, thank you. If there is ever an issue, the first step is to reach out to the seller and let them know. I mean, I know when somebody reaches out to me and they're like, hey, this isn't right. I'm like, okay, how can I make this right? And the majority of our sellers will want to make things right. And if they don't, then send us a message. Maybe we'll try to help negotiate there. But yes, community@niknax.net. Oh yeah, it's an email address. Community@niknax.net is an email, so you can send us an email. I know the option to put an entire shop on sale or select items. It might be in the works. No green chalk. No green chalk. Let's see. Yes, so if you are an approved seller, please make sure that you have your host notes where they need to be. Make sure that you have like, oh, I'm an approved blah, blah, blah seller, or I'm approved to sell this, that, or the other. That's important. so that people know, because otherwise we get messages like, hey, this person's selling this and they're not approved. But a lot of the times they are approved and we're like, well, no, they are approved. They just didn't put it in their host notes. So please make sure that you're putting things in your host notes if you are approved for something specific, like wholesale, cosmetics, and snacks. I think those are our 3 right now. So just put it in your host notes if you're doing a live sale. Put it in your listing if you have a buy it now listing sitting out there on the marketplace, just so that we're not getting messages about somebody doing something they're not supposed to. All right, let's do the event calendar. Just so everybody's on the same page, we are not doing Fast Friday Freight this week. No Fast Friday Freight this week. Host notes hold up to 1,200 words. That's an essay. You could write an essay in your host notes if you wanted to. You could write an essay. All right, let's look at the calendar, shall we? I'm worried I'm going to miss my coaster because the mug is bigger than the coaster, and I anticipate it falling off. All right, let me pull up our calendar of events. You guys ready? Thank you all. I appreciate it. I was kind of like, I was like, ooh, it's a little dark. But it's just hair. It's just hair. That was my whole thing. I was like, it'll grow back. I could always change it again. Well, but I appreciate all of the compliments on my hair. I do. All right, let me turn you guys back around because we're going to check out the calendar. I just got you back in there. Now we're going to do this again. Okay, there we go. Okay. So this is our May calendar. We have, what is the date today? Today is Tuesday. We've got the Groovy Train every Tuesday. So you have coffee chat in the morning, you have Groovy Train in the evening. So that is happening this evening. Make sure you check it out. It's always lots of fun. Wednesday, we have Good Morning Niknax every morning on Wednesday. So you can end the night Tuesday with Groovy Train, wake up to Good Morning Niknax. Wonderful things happening. Thursday is our art hangout train. Our artists all get together and do demonstrations and hang out. It's a wonderful thing. That is the train that we have on Thursdays. And then we don't have anything on Friday this week. We're not doing Fast Friday Freight. On Saturday, we have Golden Girls co-selling. And then we have Wonderlist Wares Train. Oh, that's fun. Let's see who's hosting. So if you hover over these, you have to click them. You can see who is hosting them. So in this case, the Wonderlist Wares Train is Mel's and Gigi's Vault Variety. So that's going to be lots of fun. And then Golden Girls, Mel's, Gigi's Vault Variety, Vintage Table Lady. Are you guys hosting 2 trains on the same day? I just want to make sure I got that right. It's been moved to June. Okay. All right. So this one has been moved to June, but we do have the Golden Girls. Is that what I'm hearing? Golden Girls is still happening. Yes. All right, cool. So Golden Girls is happening this Saturday. You can look forward to the Wonderlist Wares Train happening in June. So this is just a preview for those of you wondering. That's what we're doing now. We're previewing. Witchy Woman Train is happening on Sunday. Candyland Curiosities and New Life Pottery. That's going to be lots of fun. And then Fabric, Buttons, Trims, and More Train is happening next Wednesday. That's going to be fun. Yay, Witchy Woman! Is it a late night train? It doesn't say when it starts. That's for all our late night people. I'll be in bed. You guys have fun. Up until 2 a.m. Ooh, that is fun. I'll be snoozing. And then next Friday, Two's Company, Duo Train, Fabric and Treasures. So always come to our event calendar to check things out because there's a lot happening here. We always have fun events plans. And oops, let me see if I can get you guys back in here without pressing that button that I pressed earlier that made it go all crazy. Okay, here we Lots of really fun things planned. Even though we don't have Fast Friday Freight this week, we do have the paperweight extravaganza that is happening at the end of the month. And that is 5:30, 5:31, 6:1, and 6:2. So it's 4 days of paperweights. 4 days of paperweights. And nobody does paperweights like we do paperweights. I'm convinced that we are the champions of paperweights. So that's going to be the end of the month. I want to remind everybody, I know a lot of people are pre-listing, they're getting their paperweights listed. Please make sure that you are checking your paperweights over for bruises or chips or cracks or dings. I've got this guy right here. He's got a bruise on him. He's got that damage. So if I was to list him, I'd be like, unfortunately, he does have a little bruise on the back. But make sure, I feel like our paperweight does attract a lot of collectors of paperweights who are picky. They can be picky about the paperweights. And, if they receive this item that's damaged, maybe it wasn't disclosed, will they come back for our next paperweight train? Maybe not. They'll be like, oh, no, I bought a paperweight from Niknax and it was damaged and I'm not buying any more from there. So please be careful. This is Blanco, that paperweight. Ow, what? Anyway, please be very careful is what I'm asking. So make sure you're checking them over for damage and make sure you are correctly IDing your paperweights. Make sure. Oh, buy now, purchase was Blanco. I was like, wait, what? The owl? Emerald green glass double spout pitcher vase. Oh, fantastic. I never thought that was Blanco. I learned something new today. So make sure you are also correctly identifying your paperweights. Don't be calling something Murano unless you can guarantee it's Murano. You're fine. You're fine. One of the groups that we recommend using is the paperweight group on Facebook. It's really important if you're using that group, please do some research first. I think it's important to go in there like, oh, I tried researching this. I found it could be this. Maybe it could be that. Paperweight heaven. Yes, thank you. So go in there, with some research done. Don't just go in there posting paperweights left and right like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is that? What is this? Be respectful of the experts there who volunteer their time to help identify things, because they don't have to do that. They're just, helping out. So at least do your part in researching as best you can before you go in there. So that's my advice for paperweight extravaganza. See, there you go. Bandit does not like bruises, only accepts scratches on bottom of weights. Also need more than one pitcher. Yes, more than one pitcher. As you are preloading your paperweights, make sure you are taking photos of all the sides and the bottom, even though they're round. People are like, well, they're round. They look the same on every side. Make sure you're getting pictures of all the sides and the top and the bottom, even though it's round. That's important. So I think that's my spiel about paperweights. We'll probably get this a few more times before the paperweight train happens at the end of the month. But I'm so excited for it. I've got all my paperweights over here. I started photographing all of them. I'm getting ready to preload. Looked them over, made sure we didn't have any damage, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to be preloading my sale here soon. But we are going to end that on our motivational quote of the week and say, there is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about, by Margaret J. Wheatley. So there you go. Those were our notes. Yay! We got through them. So I can stick around here for a minute with any questions. If you guys have questions, I'm just going to sit here and drink my coffee. Advertising in Canada. Yes. I'll write that down. When I run my ads, which I do occasionally, I usually choose US and Canada. But otherwise, all of my advertising is organic. I only run ads like once every few months. And otherwise it's all organic through YouTube and Instagram. So it's just me saying in my videos, like, yeah, come on over to Niknax. So that's really the extent of it. When my videos do reach like worldwide. So that's the extent of our advertising for Niknax. Most of the time is just word of mouth, through advertising. But yeah, I can next time I'll maybe see if there's a way to push it harder in Canada. I don't know how that works. You forgot to add shipping to items sold on live auction. Anything I can do now? That is a very good question. So you could try reaching, I don't know. It really depends on if you want to try to reach out to the buyer and be like, hey, I'm still trying to get used to this new platform, and I may have forgotten to add shipping. Would you be willing to help cover? I mean, that is one option. I've known people to do that. For me, I would probably just take the hit. Yeah, Music City Girl, hard lesson. Yeah. So there's two options there. You could either take the lesson, which sucks, I know, or you could try messaging your buyers. But I mean, don't expect them to come through and be like, yeah, I'll pay for it. And then you can create a private listing if they are willing to do so. Because a lot of our buyers are understanding, and they will be understanding. But just make sure that make sure that they know that you're trying your best. Give me one sec. Sometimes I get distracted when stuff like that comes through. Wait. Wait, what happened? I know. Where is it? I was expecting more. Should follow that up with, will you marry me? Drop the ball. Okay, done. Oh, I got it at the same time. I didn't know if you were dropping off the kids, so I was like, all right, I'll just hop on over there. It's no big deal. Duplicating feature. See, I don't edit the photo in the duplicated listing, so I don't know. Is anyone else having that issue? Duplicated. I'm going to write it down though. Listing. I think I have heard others say that they had that issue though. Changing photo. One thing I would suggest is always having post-its handy. If it gets pre-bids, you can. Yes, if it gets pre-bids, you cannot. Okay. I wrote it down. Oh, toggle off pre-bid. There you go. Why is it that somebody can like an item after it's sold? I don't know. Maybe it's their way of being like, hey, good job. Thanks. Thank you. That you could send an offer to something that's sold, really? That's weird. That's probably a glitch. Oh. I missed it. It's moving too fast. If you are looking for approval for snacks, you can send it to community@niknax.net. And basically, we just want to know what you're going to be selling. So tell me like, oh, well, these are the snacks that I want to sell, and that's that. How long is approval taking for snacks or for applications? For snacks, it's usually like a few days or instantly. Depends on how many other help desk tickets I have coming through. If there's like a crisis and I'm like, oh no, the approvals for snacks kind of just get pushed, and then I'm like, I have to deal with this crisis. But if there's not a crisis, oh, and it depends on the snack. Yeah, some people are like, can I sell this rare candy made from, and I'm like, I have to think about that. And then it takes like 5 weeks, okay? Because I have to think about what I have to research what it is you want to be selling. What even is that? Is that legal? Oh, okay. I'll look for it. I swear I responded to your email. Did I not respond to it? I'm writing it down. Yeah, Callie sells some bizarre jerky. That's so funny. Europeans chocolates. Ooh, yes. So I I know. It might be actually saved as a draft. It might be saved as a draft. I know that a lot of our sellers are just marking it up like a few bucks, like a buck or two. I guess it depends on how rare it is. Depends on how rare it is. Oh yes, that's a very good point. Sellers should be careful buying multiple packed items and then selling them individually. Those items are often marked not for individual sale. Yeah, I would be careful about that. I don't know how all that works, but yeah, if it's not for individual sale, be mindful of that. Do we have to get permission from a retailer to sell their branded snacks? I think it depends on the reseller or the retailer. I know a lot of people are going to Trader Joe's or Buc-ee's or places like that, and just because those places are specific to those stores are specific to certain places, and obviously, like I said, Trader Joe's, you can't order their groceries. You have to go in and experience the chaos that is Trader Joe's. So for people like me who don't like chaos, I'm going to order it online. Labeling needs to be in French and English to sell in Canada, FYI. That's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, so PI Private Eye, I think that really depends on the brand. Some brands may require you to get permission to sell their like if it's a smaller brand, they may require you to get permission. But that would require maybe like messaging them, emailing them, finding out that way. I know, right? I got him though. No, I already got him. I was like, boom. Just took me like a little. I know. I think we're tied or I'm winning. It's one or the other. Yeah, so when you are listing your snacks, please be taking photos of the ingredients. The expiration. It's all in the guidelines. It's all in the guidelines. And so when I send approval for the snacks, I am making sure that I send like a list of the guidelines. Oh my gosh. Martha, that's so mean. Martha's one of those that would comment on the nails. She's got to go. Oh, shoot. That's all good. Actually, I think that Martha may have, Martha's been following me for 4 years. Can you believe that? And one comment and she's gone? That's a lot of dedication. So it has to be manufacturer sealed. So at this time, we can't have any homemade stuff. It has to be sealed by the manufacturer and labeled by all FDA guidelines and all of that. It's a good thing she never saw me with green hair. Yeah, so that would be the thing about the teeth. Empty beer cans, yes, as long as they are empty, you can't sell them full. You cannot sell them full. A new niche. Yes, I agree. Your mom would be so excited about the empty beer cans. Oh god, there's this place in Havre de Grace. It's like a beer. Ooh, I forgot I had my water. I just hit it with my elbow, and I was like, oh, my water. There's this place in Havre de Grace. It's like this beer museum, and I wandered in there once by accident, and it was like the whole upstairs is like lined with beer cans. It was like, whoa, it was pretty crazy. I think we have fabric, don't we? Do we not? I think it's under. Is it under sewing? I think fabric is in there, but I think it's under something. Oh, you mean material fabric? Yes, I can do that. Because that's just like more like sewing fabric. You mean like made of fabric? I got you. Okay. New collection. Oh man, what is happening? Shells in a collection. Yeah, maybe those would go under crafting. Is that what you mean? Or just like a collection of shells? I think lamps are under decor, aren't they? Or did I not add them? It's possible I got distracted and didn't add them. So yeah, so homemade, the way it works, this is a weird thing. I'm going to explain some background stuff, but the way it works is when you see like a collection on the front page, the collection is a grouping of the tags. So the collection can be called anything, but you're not going to see a tag for it. So it could be like home decor. And then I can put all of the tags that I want to go into home decor. So the collection you'll see on the front page is home decor. And then all of the tags that go into it could be candle holders, lamps, bookends, and we could put all vases. We could put all of those under home decor, but the main the collection would be home decor. So forward facing, you see home decor, but then all of the collections that I'm putting into there, all of the tags are what you guys see as sellers when you're tagging things. So people are like, why do we have so many tags? Having that many tags gives me the opportunity for creating unique collections. So we have so many unique tags because if I wanted to, for some reason, feature nonfiction antique books, we have a tag for that. But maybe I wanted to do nonfiction antique books and children's books together. I could do both of those under antique books. You know, both of those can go under antique books. So it's kind of like that's why we have so many tags and we don't have very many like collections, if that makes sense. So I can add tags to the 5 collections. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm calling them tags because that's kind of like the old school way of calling it. But see, I don't even know what you guys see when you're adding the tag. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. So yeah, you can only add 5 tags, I think. Right? You can only add 5. Because I think I can add more on the back end. Oh no, I can't. I can't anymore. I used to be able to. Yeah, you can only add 5. That was you can thank me for that. I was like, you know, there's people that are tagging every single collection that we have, and it's not a vase. Can we like limit? That was me. I did that. But I think it makes people think more about what they're tagging. Because before they're like, oh yeah, it's a vase. Yeah, it's a candlestick. Yeah, it's a planter. Yeah, it's also a book. So it's all of those things. And I'm like, it's not all of those things. No, there's no longer unlimited tags because you should only be tagging it for what it is. And the issue we had previously is people were using all the tags that it wasn't actually. Like, you should be very specific about how you are tagging that item. Like, if it is in fact a vase, tag it a vase. Do not tag it a candlestick. But people were spamming the tags that it wasn't. So now we've limited it to 5. Now we've limited it to 5. Do we have a tag for pottery? I think we have a tag for ceramic. Because I didn't think people would know the difference between ceramic and pottery. I barely know the difference between ceramic and pottery. Pottery, handmade. I see what you're saying. I thought that we had ceramic. Do we not have ceramic? Where's ceramic at then? We do. Oh, you know what? I searched for pottery. That's why I didn't see ceramic, because I looked for pottery, and that's why I was only seeing pottery. Okay, let's look up material. Under material, we do have ceramic. Yep. I see what you mean. We only have handmade pottery. Yeah, we need a regular pottery. Yeah, okay. Lucite? I feel like lucite would fall under plastic. Oh, wait. No, we do have lucite. I lied. I did put lucite in there. We have a lucite material. I was going to try to group it into plastic, but then I feel like we do have porcelain. Here's our materials. We have fabric, glass, paper mache, ironstone, lucite, metal, plastic, porcelain, resin, wood, pottery, handmade, and ceramic. The art glass category. I know. I need to fine tune the glass categories a little bit better. Currently, we have fused glass, hand blown glass. That would be your art glass. We have hand blown. I felt like it needed to be more specific because people are like, what is art glass? So it's hand blown now. Yeah, it's glass hand blown. We have fused. Yep. So under glass, we have fused, hand blown, UV glows, crystal, and we have Fenton. The important ones. I swear we had carnival glass, but I'm not seeing it in here, so that's weird. Can I add shells? Yes, I can add shells. Where would we put that? Decor? I feel like it would go under decor. Shells are decor. Dichroic. Dichroic is a type of fused glass, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like that would be under fused. So you make decor with shells, right? So we would call it decor, I would think. Unless it was crafting. But we'll just call it decor for now. Yeah, they can be a craft supply. I think we have craft supply. So I'll make a new one and I'll call it decor shell. Shell art. Perfect. It's there. It is done. Serving tray. Do we not have that? I know I've seen it. I have seen them and they are really cool. I have seen them. You're right, we don't have that. Tiered tray. Okay, so dining. Serving tray. Is there vanity tray? I don't know the answer to that. There is vanity set under decor. I feel like it would go under vanity set. You could put that under vanity set. One tag that says brass. Instead of metal. Okay. I feel like we lost all the buyers once we started going through tags. All the buyers were like, I'm done with Coffee Chat. All right, here you go. Okay, material, brass. Save changes. Brass is in there now. What was wine charms? Let me see. Drinkware. That would be under drinkware. We can add that to okay, I'm gonna do wine charms and how about charms and swizzle sticks? What you talking about? I was just like, go put your suggestions over in the doc. Well, see, then I'm going to get distracted and I'm going to go off into all different other things. And then I'm not going to see the document ever. Barware accessories. I like that. Drinkware. Barware. Let's do barware accessories. Because if I start writing swizzle sticks, stoppers, and charms, it's going to be the longest tag that we have in all of our tags. So let's call it barware accessories. I should put the abbreviation for accessories. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Accessories. Save changes. Okay, it's in there. Barware accessories. Yes, coasters. Yep, you could put coasters in there. Wind chimes. That would be Let me write that down because I think I want to do like a main category of garden. Yeah, and so that would go under garden, and I don't have that one built yet. So we would do garden wind chimes. There'd be like garden yard decor. No, what would you call the little gnomes? Yard or some orbs. Garden gnomes. I'm just gonna put gnomes. I'll elaborate on that later. You're making gnomes now. Woohoo! Lawn ornament. Thank you, Jersey Boy Dano. I feel like maybe I need another cup of coffee. I'm like, what are those called? Ornament? We'll just group them all together with gnomes. Outdoor decor. Yeah. We'll just call it outdoor instead of garden because not everybody has a garden. All right, so I wrote that down. So I will add that flower pots. But does flower pots overlap with planters? Because we have that one too. Now we have indoor planters and we have outdoor flower pots. There's a difference. All right, so if you would like to add tags, collections into either Christina's document or the chat channel, we do have a chat channel that exists for suggestions. I know it's insanity. You know, I need the algorithm where I can do either or and so that when it comes to tagging, I could be like all drinkware except for this category, or I want this and this, but not that. Like it's so complicated. But you know, for my previous job, this is basically what I did. So it's kind of like, no, I get it. It's fine. It's actually kind of odd how it overlaps with what I did previously. It's kind of strange, but it is complicated in a bit. Anyway, and there's no other marketplace that utilizes. I even said that during my last district meeting because I'm like, it's such a mess and blah blah blah, and I felt so bad after the fact that I was like, okay, I got that on my system. Like I guess we're probably the only marketplace that utilizes collections and tags as seriously as we do. I don't think that any others have this many tags, but we also have over 100,000 listings. So there is a need to keep it all. Like I don't know why I'm holding a butter knife. There's a need to keep it all organized. How do you search for just Niknax sellers? So right now it's kind of weird. You have to be on district to search for sellers. But if you go to niknax.net and you just go to niknax.net, you don't access it through district, you go to niknax.net and you go to listings, you can sort by seller. And it'll list all of the sellers in Niknax. So you just do the drop down and then you can it'll list all of this and you could actually start searching by sellers. So you can just be like, oh, I want to look up listings from so-and-so. And then, or you could just scroll through and see all the sellers. So those are the two options. I don't know if I'm going to be going back to Ohio. I've kind of decided to venture off in other directions. So I was going to do Brimfield, but I decided to postpone my trip. So I'm going to be going now in July, it's looking like. So I'm going to be around next week. Yeah. So probably July for that. So you guys can expect me to have a sale next Wednesday right here. Smelling Goodwill stuff. But yeah. So I will be doing the July show, hopefully. And then always Madison Bachville. It's like my old nostalgia. Because my family's from there. And I'm looking forward to that. I always look forward to Madison Bachville. I'm not doing the May show the May-June show. Maybe it's the June show. Just because it's a little bit smaller. It's like a weekend versus a whole week. But I will be doing the fall show, Madison Bachville. So I'm really looking forward to that. Confetti. But is there any other questions that don't have anything to do with collections? Any other questions? Unrelated to collections. Do I over cheerlead? I don't think so. Not that I've noticed. Do we still have quality assurance? Yes. And when it's available. Logan does have a full-time job. So he pops in and he helps when he is able. But that is his contribution. So yes. But he does work full-time. Yeah, no going live while driving. Is that a thing? When I hit share with, I don't know vintage stuff you love. I have no idea what happens when you hit that button. I've hit it before and I was like, I don't know what just happened. Sorry. And then I just keep going. How do I reapply to be a seller? You can hit the apply button. And if you can't see the apply button, send an email to community@niknax.net and let me know, and I can go back and look for your application. Let's see. I didn't have any agreements. It just goes out into the universe, I guess. What do I think about sales advertised with $1 starts? Okay, this is one thing that I thought about talking about, but then I was like, I don't know. But I'll talk about it. So I think, and I just want to reiterate this, and it has been since the very beginning of Niknax, it is one thing that I have said over and over and over and over again. Please make sure that when you are selling on Niknax, it is so important that you sell your items for the least amount that you are willing to take for them, the least amount that you will be happy with. It is so important. So if you are listing your items at $1 and they sell for $1, it is what it is. But I would encourage you, if you maybe do $5 starts, maybe do $8 starts. If you do $1, you get about 40 cents. So keep that at 60 cents. So keep that in mind. I mean, I don't have anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with doing dollar starts. I don't want people being discouraged when their items sell for less than they want them to. And I see that problem a lot on other platforms where they're like, I can't believe I started it at $1 and it sold for $1. Like, well, so, start your items at the least amount you're willing to accept for them. All right. No gifting. We have a no gifting policy. There is no gifting. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on, a lot on the different sellers. I think it depends a lot on the different sellers. And I know, this time of year, I know I'm going through it myself. I just kind of want to move stuff. I want to just get rid of stuff. I want to cleanse and start fresh going into the summer. So I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of people like, okay, I've got all this inventory. I just want to kind of move it out and then I will get new stuff in. So I am seeing a lot of that. And I'm not going to knock anybody for wanting to just get rid of stuff. I mean, personally, I'd rather sell it on Niknax than donate it. I mean, the girls keep telling me, they're like, why are you donating all this stuff? Why don't you just sell it online? And I don't know. So I think that's happening a lot. going into the summer. I think people are like, okay, now it's prime time sourcing. We've got yard sales, we've got garage sales, we've got, all of these events coming up, all of these antique shows and other stuff like that. But yeah, so I think as a community, it's important for us to keep a standard, to like make sure that people know, like, if you come here, don't expect to get items for a steal. But occasionally you can get some deals. It's funny. I did create a wall of shame. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it, but it's a chat channel dedicated to shameful people making shameful comments in our sales and our chat channels. People that I boot, obviously. And we had this one guy in one of our sales. Where did it go? I can't find it now. Where did it go? Chat channels, wall of shame. Yeah, there's only one in there right now, but it's pretty funny. He said, what was his comment? So much for passing savings, typical greed. Bye. Bye. And then I banned him. But yeah, you remember him? He was gone. He got banned. But it was funny. So, like, you're on the wrong marketplace, buddy. Go back to where you came from. But I think we're going to see a lot more than that. People expecting, because we're tethered to district, and other marketplaces are springing up that, are starting really low, and it's the expectation, and they're like coming over here expecting the same thing, and it's like, well, no, we don't do it that way here. Yeah, but this guy does have his phone number on his profile if anyone wants to sign him up for, the hair care for men or any of that, like we've talked about previously. Don't put your phone number out in public if you don't want, it getting put places. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. I think it's in district guidelines not to post your personal information out there. Yeah. Anyway, so now I'm going to be posting stuff on the wall of shame. I probably won't shame people who are like active members and I have to escort them to the exit, but like people just popping in, causing trouble, you kind of asked for it. So anyway, I have another meeting in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to end it here. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments, I always encourage you to message me at community@niknax.net. It's so important that you guys just reach out to me with any concerns. Like, even if you disagree with me about something and you just want to talk about it, I always tell you guys, reach out to me. We can talk about it. You can voice your concerns and all of that. But I think on that note, we're going to end it. So we're going to do a raid. We are going to do a raid. Oh my gosh, now all the questions are coming in. I got a meeting in 10 minutes, but I don't metal detect. I would love to go metal detecting, but I haven't done it in a while. Someday. All right, so let me pass you guys along. We are going to raid. Remember, it's niknax.net. That's niknax.net. Online marketplace. We would love to have you over here. Over 100,000 listings, over 4,500 sellers, over 43,000 members, and a really awesome place to be. So let's send you guys along. Here we go. Oh, we only have 2 people live right now. Gigi's Vault Variety and Brindy. Brindy is doing Goodwill Bins Haul. She's doing a Goodwill Bins Haul, and Gigi's Vault Variety, Amanda, is doing clothing. I love that we're doing clothing on the marketplace now. I think it's amazing. But I think clothing is very specific. So, it's like very specific sizes. And it's very specific buyer. So we're going to go to Brindy, but I would really encourage you to go over and check out Gigi if you're into clothing. If you're looking for clothing, go check out Amanda, Gigi's Vault Variety. So here we go. Let's go see Brindy.